Well, it's safe to say that Islam Makhachev's not happy because there was just a lot of heat on the Makhachev and Dustin Poirier face-off. Dustin Poirier just made a big mistake. And that is, you do not curse at a foreigner. Otherwise, they're going to take what you're saying literally, all right? A lot of American curse words, like the word that Dustin Poirier called Islam Makhachev that I'm about to show you, are not to be taken literally, otherwise they sound very weird. Well, that's what happens when you call a guy from Dagestan a motherfucker. Islam Makhachev thinks that Dustin Poirier actually said that you do the dirty with your mom. And that's like calling a guy from Dagestan poopy head. You know, it doesn't matter how innocent the curse word is, they take it literally. You can't curse at like someone that's from Dagestan in an American way. You can't say anything. If you call them a shithead, they think you're saying their head's made out of poop, right? If you call them a poopy head, it means that they think they've got poop on their head and they've got to take it off of their head once they reach up and they find that it's not there. They get angry because you're a liar. You said this was that, brother. Where's that, brother? You can't curse at these guys. This is what happened with Canelo and Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant called him a motherfucker to his face, and Canelo instantly pushed him and started throwing hands. So I think there's a language barrier. That's basically what's going on. But either way, I'm going to show you guys my live initial reaction to the stare down because I thought it was pretty interesting. Let's check out what they were saying to each other. Here we go. Poirier says he doesn't understand. I think Makhachev said, long time no see, brother. It's been a minute, brother. Oh, Poirier said you're going to sleep Saturday. You're going to sleep Saturday. All right, I see it. I see you, DP. Poirier's getting angry. You can see the steam coming out of his cauliflower ears. I'm a sleepy Saturday.
You're going to be diving for my legs praying.
You're going to be diving for my legs praying. Well, you will see, brother. You'll be diving for my legs, DP.
You're going to be laying and praying.
You're going to be laying and praying. That's what you're going to be doing. Oh! Poirier said you're going to sleep, motherfucker. Woo! We got to fight. We got to fight. Makhachev showing up with Staph and DP's calling him motherfucker. That's the thing that pissed off Makhachev. Let's see if that's the thing that pisses him off. Oh! He said, don't call me motherfucker. Holy shit, it's going down. Holy shit, it's going down. Oh! We said it again. Makhachev's getting angry. You don't call him. Oh, look at DP. DP's getting angry. Oh. Damn, that's the face. That's the face of I done fucked up. That's the face of I done messed up. You could see Dustin's twinkle in his eye. See, that's the thing with these guys from the mountains, bro. They're all buddy-buddy. You can mess with them, but once you call them a simple curse word, you can call them a poopy head, right? You call them, you could say, brother, you suck at grappling, brother. You call them a poopy head or you call them a shit stain or a motherfucker, they get angry. They don't take curse words kindly. A curse word in Dagestan, I mean, that's like the worst thing you could possibly do. Look at Dustin Poirier. He's shitting his jocks. He's shitting his jocks. Because Makhachev's getting big on him now. Like DC says about Pereira. He's getting big on him now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now DP's acting tough when he's... Oh, DP's acting tough. He's acting tough now when he's getting held back. All right, let's see. Bro, how can you get that angry when someone calls you... Oh, because that's the thing, though. These guys do not mess around with this. You got to make fun of their grappling. You make fun of their skill set. All right? All right, and they'll be able to go tit for tat, band for band, and the insults. But Dustin Poirier found it the hard way. And it did seem like Poirier, he was getting big on Makhachev because Poirier during this press conference was fuming. And Islam Makhachev tends to have that effect on his opponents. Islam Makhachev and his smirk, the famous Makhachev smirk, gets under everyone's skin. It even got under Volk's skin. Remember Volkanovski was saying in the build-up to his first fight with Makhachev that he just wants to wipe the smirk off of his face. And Charles Oliveira, I mean, Oliveira is a guy that takes himself very seriously. right? I mean, this is someone that's crying and listening to Brazilian gospel music, and his hands are in the air. It's like an opera when Oliveira enters the room. And then you've got Makhachev, who's just kind of smirking at his face and kind of chuckling with his brothers about how his grappling's overrated. And Makhachev's not about to just kiss his ass just because everyone else is, right? He's going to let him have it. That's how they do it in Dagestan. They'll let you have it, as long as you don't call another guy a poopy head, because that's over the line over there. But you get my point. Makhachev smirking, sneering, and smiling, and treating Dustin Poirier lightly because he knows that he's not on his level. And us fans, yes, Dustin is going in there to fight someone with staph now. Makhachev, we've talked about it. He might have staph infection. We've got a fight on our hands now, but minus the staph, we kind of know what's going to happen this Saturday. Makhachev's probably going to easily beat him. And Poirier doesn't like that. Poirier doesn't like that Makhachev is smiling at him, and Poirier wants a little bit more respect. And you can see during the press conference, every time Makhachev makes a remark, because one thing you got to at least say, Islam Makhachev was actually the most entertaining guy at this press conference. I know Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa tried to get into it, and Sean Strickland is usually very entertaining. He absolutely is. But there was a respect fest going on between him and Paulo, and I think he likes Paulo Costa too much, and it's a big contrast from when he was like shit-talking with Adesanya, and Adesanya was like the perfect guy for Sean Strickland to trash talk against, right? And then, of course, the Duplessis rivalry that Strickland had stemming from that initial press conference they had where Duplessis started talking about Strickland's childhood and shit like that. And then he was in Canada, and it's like the perfect environment for Strickland to go on a rant. Either way, this time, even though Strickland's in the States, this time it seemed like, the whole Strickland, it seemed a little bit, stale. I know people were going to say, dude, it was a sick conference. Strickland. Listen, we can admit Sean Strickland had an off night. All right? I don't mean to sound like Stephen A. Smith, but Sean Strickland had an off night tonight. He did. And it's not his fault. He didn't have a battle to fight against. And Paulo Costa's too goofy for him to get angry and riled up at. Okay? And he's such a fan favorite that he doesn't even have to win over the crowd anymore. You know what? It seemed like Sean Strickland was almost forcing himself to have like a big heroic speech just because like he feels expected to do that now. You know what I mean? In Australia, he's like a man of the people. He's winning over the people in someone else's backyard, in Adesanya's home country, right? In Canada, he's winning over the Canadians because they hate what's going on in Canada, right? Now, everyone loves Sean Strickland in this setting, and he doesn't have a battle to fight. So it's like he's forcing himself to like come up with a battle fight. And he's saying, there was nothing specific that he said, but it seemed like Sean Strickland was trying to like come up with a big sentimental moment for the people, and even him saying, me and Costa are going to fight to the death. It didn't even hit the same as it did with DDP. So, Costa, I just have to say this, he's not good at press conferences, okay? Costa's good online. He's good with his memes. But at press conferences, I hate to say it, it's just the truth. Now, he's not oralist like Sean O'Malley at press conferences, because O'Malley has the oralist. I mean, to be honest, O'Malley's got the look, but as soon as O'Malley opens his mouth, it's like, someone's got to push this motherfucker into a locker. We're trying to listen to a press conference. Little do you know, O'Malley's the one that's doing the press conference. But when Paulo Costa talks, at least, people were like, dude, he's pretty scary looking, right? But Costa just doesn't have any good, quick, witty jokes on the fly. He's got to go Colby mode and maybe get some scripted lines to show up to the press conference with, right? And this is not the same guy that was trash-talking Izzy, because I think Izzy is always the best guy to go at, because Izzy, back in the day, especially when he was fighting Costa, this was around the time that he fought Whitaker too, that's when Izzy would get pissed off at anything you could possibly say to him, right? And Izzy used to say things like, I'm going in dark, botched. Izzy's the only guy on earth that could get angry at Paulo Costa. Izzy's the only guy on earth that could get angry at Robert Whitaker. So his trash talk worked against Izzy when he was talking about like Izzy's earring and how his mom, wears the same ones and shit like that. But ever since, Costa's, I kind of expect more from him at press conferences, but maybe we shouldn't. Right? He's the big friendly oaf. And online, he's got some good memes, but, maybe we shouldn't expect him to be like this crazy trash talker. And so therefore, Makhachev, with his jabs at Dustin Poirier, saying, brother, this guy don't really believe he could beat me, brother. And Poirier, you could see the steam fuming out of his ears like he was an elephant, right? And I think that when Poirier was facing off with Makhachev, and Makhachev was giving him that grin, that smirk, I think that was the last straw. And Poirier went from saying, you're going to sleep Saturday night to, you're going to sleep, motherfucker. And, of course, you saw Makhachev get wide-eyed, and Makhachev kind of got in his face. And I was pretty shocked when I saw that live. I was like, holy shit, now we actually have, like, a crazy moment. The press conference sucked for the most part because there was too much ass-kissing between Strickland and Costa. Makhachev kind of took over. Poirier was doing his thing. Every now and then he would respond to Makhachev with, well, what'd this guy say? Well, what'd this guy say? Doing the old-fashioned, I don't understand what he's saying, even though he probably does. He's just trying to big-time him, right? And there was one interesting moment, though, where Makhachev said something to Sean Strickland. When Strickland said, Costa, your English is not too good, because Costa was kind of fumbling over his words. There was a bit of an awkward moment where Costa was like trying to trash talk, because I think he recognized that it was too buddy-buddy. And Strickland kind of had to like save it and just butt in because, no one wanted to let Costa continue fumbling and bumbling over his words. I think Strickland said something like, your English is not that good. And Makhachev said something along the lines of,
finally, Brazilian fighters try to speak English. It's respect, man.
He said, finally, Brazilian brothers finally learning English. Because, Anderson Silva back in the day, even though he spoke English, wouldn't really do it at press conferences. And Oliveira and Pereira never speak English. It's just kind of a thing that a lot of them don't want to learn English. So he is taking a bit of a jab at Charles Oliveira. So that is interesting. Either way, I know he invited Charles to come to Dagestan to train. Charles is going to have to toughen up. He's going to have to deal with the Dagestan trash talk, because I think that the key to getting under Charles' skin is Dagestani trash talk, talking about his skill set. The key to getting under Makhachev's skin is calling him the most regular curse word you could possibly come up with, and he'll think you're coming at his life. So either way, there was a big misunderstanding between Poirier and Makhachev. I think they'll get that squashed. Staff, shout out to whoever that was. And he said, brother, I'm 100% good. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be at my best. Respect to that. And some people instantly in my chat were saying, oh, that means he doesn't have it. No, it means that he does have it. He didn't deny it. He's just not about to sit here and make a bunch of excuses. He said, listen, brother, I'm 100%. I'm showing up at my best. That to me sounds like, listen, I'm showing up. Nothing's changing. Like, what am I going to sit here and like out myself and say I have staph infection to the UFC and make an excuse to say I'm not at my best? No, I'm at my best. I'm showing up. It is what it is. You could see in his face, though, he heard about the staph infection talk. He probably knows it because he has it, but I don't think it's going to affect him that much. When Benoit Saint Denis had a volcano on his forehead, it honestly looked like he had no energy that week. Makhachev had a lot of energy in the stare down. The smirk was on display. Dustin Poirier's ears had steam coming out of them during the press conference. Also, I think a reporter asked Sean Strickland, this may have been the worst question of the press conference. This may have been the worst one. He asked Sean, I spoke to you yesterday at Media Day. Of course, he had a Media Day to ask Sean Strickland this question and chose to ask it again, probably. This is the only question he was capable of thinking of. By the way, keep in mind, these guys have like all day to prepare for a press conference, probably all week, when they know they're going to have their media pass. Yeah, Sean Strickland, Sean, you talk about wanting to move forward rather than backwards. Do you think a win this Saturday would kind of move you forward and kind of take you forward in your career? Yeah. I think it would maybe take him forward rather than backwards to win this weekend. All right? So, great questions from the reporters. To be honest, some of them asked good questions. I'm happy that they asked about Staph. I'm happy that they asked Sean Strickland and Costa, questions about each other's skill sets. They did a good job for the most part. It's just that sometimes the fighters themselves aren't really going to give you the best trash talk moments. As I said, Costa's not the best trash talker, and Strickland and Costa like each other too much to actually have any real heat. So when they're asking them about, hey, Strickland said you're never going to be good enough to beat him, and he doesn't really take your skill set that serious, what do you think? Costa's not going to snap back with anything. Same thing with Dustin Poirier. Hey, Makhachev says that not even you or your teammates believe that you can win this fight. What do you think? Dustin Poirier was, maybe he was gritting down on the inside and angry, but he was holding it in today. He was holding it in. The steam was coming out. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about the UFC 302 press conference. It was all right. Not the best press conference. I think it was saved by the heat in the Dustin Poirier and Islam Makhachev stare down. I think that's what saved it. The fact that there was an angry moment between Makhachev and Poirier at the end. If that didn't happen, it would have been pretty lackluster. Either way, not the worst press conference. It was decent, and I'm looking forward to the fights. Until next time.